Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to the Chai with My Bye podcast. We have our epic panel as usual. Murrad, you like our boss every day, I told you, but today you like the boss of bosses.
You like all of you switch it up.
The final boss.
We become a bit different.
Appreciate
it, my brother.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Guys, before I begin, I would love for you guys to engage with us in the comments and let us know what topics you want us to discuss next time, inshallah ta'ala. And whilst you're there and you're going to the comment below, don't be cheeky. Click the subscribe button, inshallah ta'ala. With that said, today we're going to be discussing the rules that our panel has with regards to when they lock into a particular grind. Now, this could be in terms of entrepreneurship, where you're not operating at maximum capacity and that highest level of intensity every single day, 7 days a week, 12 months in a year. There's going to be moments where you just put the pedal to the metal and you just accelerate. And there's times you're going to slow down, otherwise you're going to burn out. Likewise, when it comes to health, getting in shape, when it comes to fixing your marriage, raising your children, when it comes to seeking knowledge, Quran, whatever it might be, there's times you just have to lock in. You have to have tunnel vision. Even your peripheral vision has to just narrow in and just focus, laser focus on this one thing just to get to that goal. And I find, guys, that this is where most people actually fail. Everyone's able to do some work here and there and just get things ticking and moving along. But the ability to be able to just lock in, just get it cracking, that right there is very hard. It's very hard. And I want to talk to you guys today about some of the rules that you have for yourselves in that season of no, in that grind mode, in that tunnel vision mode, to just focus and build whatever it is that you're building. Sam, let's start with you, bro. How do you even tap into that?
Tap into?
That laser focus where you can just cut everything off.
I think the first step is, Sheikh, the learning how to say no. Okay, and there is a famous quote, I think by Charlie Munger. He said, "Show me a man who can say no, and I'll show you a man who nobody wants to compete with." Meaning, he's so superior to others that nobody wants to compete with him because he knows he has mastered saying no.
Okay.
And saying no, there are multiple levels to saying no. I think the first level, and when we think of saying no, we just think of saying no to, the boys are going out, I cannot go out.
Yeah.
But there's many levels, that's part of it. I think the first one is saying no to thoughts and ideas, which is very hard to do. Because as we are entrepreneurs, we're always in grind mode, always learning, always something new coming. We're always in these networking settings. People are giving ideas, people are throwing ideas. Then we're like, okay, I need to implement this, I need to implement that. Or sometimes, what I was guilty of, reading a lot of books sometimes, right? So all these ideas and thoughts that come to you and you start executing this, you go halfway, you start executing that because another mentor told you something else, another book told you something else. So you have 30, 40 different ideas and thoughts, but you're not saying no to any of them. So practically what I started doing on this one is these thoughts will come because I'm always, and especially when you have double espressos as much as I have, like a lot of ideas are always coming, right? So I will physically write them down, like not on my notes, like physically. I'll put it on notes, but actually I'll physically write them down because there's a power of physically doing something. Because otherwise I feel like it's incomplete in my head. It keeps coming back. So I need to completely transfer that, write it down, and I'm on my 90-day sprint. Whenever that, and we can talk more about 90-day sprints later, whenever that specific 90-day sprint ends, I'll look at these 100 ideas that I had within the 90-day. And most of the time, I'm the one laughing at all those ideas. Like, oh my God, I was really thinking to do that at that middle of this, at the middle of that. So most of the ideas are anyways not worth pursuing. But at that moment, it's very good. So we need to learn how to say no to these all crazy big ideas. I think that's the first step.
Go on.
I was saying, the first thing hit to my mind when you mentioned it is the issue of sleep, having a sleep on point. But I've realized hearing you talk about it is sleep, getting a good night's sleep ultimately comes down to being able to say no. You're going to get friends telling you, let's go out, let's do this motive. You're going to get people, let's go out for dinner. Your family's going to come to you, your wife's going to want you to do these things. And you have to learn to say no. I have to prioritize my sleep because I'm a firm believer the day after starts the night before.
Of course.
So today, however our day went was decided by what time we slept last night, how well we slept, the type of sleep that we got. So in doing that, and even sometimes, as you said, you're like, happens to me all the time. I'm laying in bed, an idea will come to my mind. I'll remember someone that messaged me, I haven't responded to them. I'll remember sometimes a random question. Like, you get a random question, you want to know the answer. Like,
yes, you want to know the answer right away.
Yeah, you want to know, like, who's this famous figure in history that did this? I'm like, well, why am I, your brain's just in overdrive. You have to learn to say no. And that, I think, actually, you know what, encompasses so many things. Because even another one that I was going to mention was to do with your diet. I feel like discipline when it comes to diet. The times when I've been most disciplined in my life, across the board, I've noticed, directly linked to when I'm disciplined in my diet. The moment I pick up a chocolate finger, and then it turns into another chocolate finger, and then another one. Before you know it, the entire box is gone. Actually, the next 2-3 days, bro, you're sluggish. You've lost that, even that confidence in yourself.
Because you have lost self-esteem.
Self-esteem, it's like, bro, like, I broke my rule. I broke the non-negotiable for this. Everything else is going to fall down with it.
Definitely self-esteem is one, but I think it might even be deeper than that. I remember Mahdi, we did the podcast with Mahdi. He said something powerful. He was like, when I see my body fat increasing, I know that my mental fortitude is falling.
So,
you know, when you plant a seed, you don't see what's happening underneath the surface for a very long time. You just plant the seed, you're watering it, nothing's growing. But something's happening underneath the surface before it actually cracks and it comes out. So maybe having a bad diet, right, or increasing in body fat, that's like the stem that just starts to come out. But there was things that was happening underground.
That's a symptom, basically.
That's a symptom, yeah. So in essence, that indicates to you, yo, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Do you get me?
Yeah, if your body fat is increasing, that's indicative that your diet's messing up, your training's messing up.
But what's so interesting about that is that, and what I found very profound, was that he was able to, and you just now were able to make the link, that when that happens, that's a sign you're actually losing discipline. Most people won't make that connection. They'll think, this is food, that's work. No. You don't realize. And it's because it's happening so subtly. Maybe it's just you're not as focused on the work that you're doing. And maybe you're doing a little bit less ihsan with regards to actually finishing the work as you were planning to prior. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're becoming a little bit lazy with some meetings here and there and whatnot. It's so subtle. Like, the drop is so subtle, you don't realize it. But that is a sign that, there's something going on here.
So,
yeah. Go on, Murrad. Chat to him. What's your rules, bro, for locking in?
I think before I get into my rules for locking in, I want to just dive into how something small is so transferable to everything else. And I started realizing it. And I've developed so your relationship with your subconscious, when it comes to that small chocolate finger or something like that, where you told yourself you're not going to do this and you reached for it, you're developing that relationship with yourself that you're a liar.
Yes.
So even when you are going to tell yourself that I am going to lock in, it's half-hearted.
Yep.
It's like everyone, they say, I want to get into shape, I want to go gym, and they get that dopamine boost out of having those conversations.
You don't even believe yourself at that.
You know, your subconscious doesn't even believe. You're like, yeah, right. You said that last time. The gym membership is just coming out of the account monthly, right?
It's like word porn.
Yeah.
Like when a man watches pornography, he gets the dopamine
I've never
kick.
heard this, by the way.
Yeah, it's like he gets and then he doesn't want to go get married. I just made it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, made it up right now.
Yeah, I don't know why I said yeah to that. Just instantly. I know. Yeah.
No, but it's the same concept, right? Like, a man, by having a conversation about going to the gym, gets the satisfaction of what he would have achieved at the gym, so now he doesn't want to go. A man watching pornography will get the satisfaction of what he would have got from a woman, but now that he's felt that, there's a certain level of dopamine he's received, he won't actually go out there and get married.
Okay.
Which is why there's a pandemic, even amongst the non-Muslims, by the way, because these men are watching porn so much, they're just not getting married. These men, despite how illicit society has become, sexual activity has dropped in men. It's at an all-time low. That's mad when you think about it. Because the porn that they're watching, they get that kick. But sorry, that was a side point. But look, I know you thought it was a scam, or maybe you thought it was too good to be true. But on this podcast, I've been telling you about an opportunity that you can use to learn to make money. There are people that are making 10K a month, Allahumma barik, within 90 days. They're making their first dollar online and they're becoming financially independent, Allahumma barik. This is brother Abu Lahya's IMA, Influencer Marketing Accelerator. It shows you how to make money online, halal, through influencer marketing deals. I got off the phone to him and he's just told me that one of the guys from this channel is about to become their first millionaire, million dollars cash. He's just passed the $800,000 mark and he came in the summertime. I just done a live the other day with his inner circle members. These are guys that are on the IMA program that have done their 10K a month. Allahumma barik. They are annually making 10K. Some of them, the next goal is 50K a month. Some of them is more. Some of them is a bit less. And I'm like, this is the real deal. Brothers, I've got so much to lose, like to gas you for no reason. The reason I share this with you is because I don't have anything to offer those that want to learn how to make money online. I genuinely don't. I have a network of high net worth and ultra high net worth Muslims. But people are always asking me. And the only place that I just really trust that I can say to you, go here and hopefully you can learn how to make some money online, inshallah ta'ala, is Abu Lahir's IMA Accelerator. So just so you know, it requires hard work, 4 hours of work every single day, 90 days. It's not cheap. It is expensive. And they reject most applications. But if you get there, inshallah ta'ala, you can get that financial independence, do your hijrah. You don't have to work. Bob's looking over you because you're taking a bit longer than you should have taken on your salah break. Come on, like that's not really the kind of situation you want to be in. So apply at the link below and don't let another year pass. And now you're hearing about their 4th millionaire, 5th millionaire, or, so on and so forth. Apply at the link below.
Everything is transferable, no doubt. But yeah, so I just want to kind of touch upon that because you're just developing that relationship with yourself, right? That small little thing is where confidence stems from. The fact that you've stayed true to what you told yourself you're going to do. So exercise that daily, whether you're going to say, I'm going to take out the bins later, but you forget to and you do it the next day. Like you're developing that mentality where you don't even believe yourself, right? But my rules for locking in, first of all, I need to have explicit proof that I've locked in before and I've achieved something.
Okay.
Because that might mean I don't even know how to lock in.
Okay.
If I go back to thinking about university, students studying, some people will be studying 6 hours, 9 hours a day for their A-levels, think they're locked in, but fail because they don't have an efficient approach to locking in. So first I'll map out what locking in looks like for me. So once I know, okay, if I lock in here, I'm going to apply myself for this period of time, I accept it as a period of imbalance. I come to terms with it. I can't have everything at a high. Kind of like a video game character, right? If you've got all your stats, you have to remember, if you're trying to optimize in this particular area for business and this and that, like other areas are going to take a hit or not be optimal. However, I put a baseline there of what that is. So for me, spiritually, that will mean my prayers, that will mean going to the mosque, that will mean there's a baseline there. I'm going to maintain this, even though for this period of time, there's this shift of focus that I'm trying to optimize for this. So I lock in here, or whether I want to get more into shape, right? So I've come to terms with I cannot optimize for everything at once. It's not happening. And also saying no, really important, because that means you have to let other things take a hit in certain areas because you've got a goal that you're trying to achieve here. And also I'm very clear of what I want to achieve, so I don't go into that rabbit hole of, okay, now I've hit 100K a month, I want to do $1 million a month, and I want to do, because then you just go into that dark rabbit hole of now you're constantly trying to optimize in this one area and other areas are taking a hit, whether that's your spirituality, gym, and all of those sort of things. So for me, my spoken rules are stick to that goal that you're going to say and then reevaluate what you want to do and what you want to optimize for. So if I'm struggling financially, I need to get to a good pace financially. That might look like X amount a month. I am going to put in this period of time of work to achieve X. So it's just a period of imbalance to gain balance overall. So if there's one stat that's lacking on your character, you're like, I need to focus here, get it up there. This is going to be a period of imbalance where other things don't grow, but when I get there, I could choose what I want to optimize to after. That's how I kind of view it.
Okay, barakallah feek.
On that point, Sheikh, it's basically what I do, similar thing, 90-day sprints. Sometimes the sprints are shorter, but typically standard sprint is 90-day sprint, right?
Is that because you found that you could achieve something substantial in a 90-day period?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's also a good goal in terms of time to reassess after that. Okay, so have I gone too far? Have I so start with the end in mind. So for me now, the 90-day goal is very simple. 90-day sprint is very simple. We need to raise X amount of funds to completely be done with this project, and I need to get designing and planning approved of this Majan development, right? So this is my 90-day sprint. Anything outside of this, no. It's simple for me. Anything that does not serve either of these two. So now under planning and designing getting approved, it's meeting all these different contractors, getting their opinion, seeing what they're saying, what am I missing here, meeting different engineers, consultants, doing all that, closing the fund, meeting investors, calls, training people to do the calls. So if it's not meeting either of those, because that's my clear KPI for the 90-day sprint, it's clear. Once these two are done, and they could be done, inshallah, in 40 days, 45 days, right? Once that's done, that's done. Then I'm going to revisit my notes of those 100 ideas that I want to do, this, that. I want to get this new office here. I want to do this. I want to do that. All that I'm going to review then and have my new 90-day sprint.
So some people are going to hear what you're saying. They're going to say, I get it. The whole optimization element, say no to things, 90 days, lock in. But my environment doesn't allow me to say no. Or my environment is enforcing itself on me.
For example?
I'll give you an analogy, right? So sometimes a man will find that he's trying to lock in, but it's like his environment is playing guerrilla warfare tactics on him.
He hasn't done the foundations to lock in.
What do you mean by that?
So you have, like, for example, you have to set areas so it don't collapse in place, right? So, for example, you want a baseline of which your family are good, whether that is financially, you've got to this place where you're able to support them here, so you could lock in here. Because in reality, what we're saying is really idealistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In reality, when like your family turn around and there's something that's happened and now everything has a huge shift of focus, like, of course. But having those foundations in place where you're like, okay, I've got this set up, or my dean's at this baseline where I'm at least praying, doing this, doing that.
That makes sense, right? But what if a man's got a turbulent environment, for example?
So that's where Sheikh, crisis management, right? There's like, for me, it's 3 tiers of crisis. Tier 1, Allah forbid, death or a terminal disease that shows up out of nowhere. Of course, like you have to, Allah not put us in those situations. You have to completely readjust. That's tier 1 crisis, right? Then you have tier 2 and 3. The problem is like tier 3 could be something very solvable. For example, I know a brother, like he has to take his, let's say, parents to do grocery shopping. He has to physically ride them. Very easily solvable. But he's like, oh man, I have to take them. Then I wait for them outside. Then they say it's going to take half an hour, but it takes 1.5 hours for my mom to finish up. Then by the time I come, I'm tired, I'm distracted. Brother, just Uber. Exactly, just Uber her or Instacart or whatever the app is here. I forgot, Talabat, Kareem. Like there's so many solutions. You're just not thinking.
But my parents won't like that.
Yeah.
Now what?
That's where we need to have that conversation as a man. That's where you have to be a man and have the conversation.
Watch last week's episode.
Yes, that's where you have to be a man.
Depending on the order of release, but yeah, sure. It might come out a month from now.
Your point is really valid, yeah. It is. But there's a particular type of...
Tell me examples.
I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
So, again, this probably could apply to different areas, but I know one big example area that brothers suffer from is marriage. Because if a man's married to a woman, right, that's a turbulent woman, then what's happening here is that's a crisis that's connected to him. And there's a lot of brothers I can see that are being held back because of these type of crises. There's a brother right now, I actually know 2 brothers right now, that have recently gotten divorced. And I don't know if it's wrong to say, but when I found out, I was really happy for them. Because I know...
I don't think it's wrong to say, Sheikh. Sometimes you're better off without something.
It's not...
Allah made halal in particular situations.
100%. I'm just saying it's because I don't want to be
counseling.
I don't want to be branded by those guys that, throw divorce parties. Even though, wallahi, the thought crossed my mind to throw a divorce party for the brother, but it's not good to do that. But you know what happens, isn't it?
I'm going to get a cake in that. Cut the cake.
No, but point being is that subhanAllah, the turbulence act that it brings is nuts. And I want people to just take what I say with a pinch of salt here, yeah? Because I'm not saying do this, but obviously do shura, do istikhara, but you might have to take it to this level. So how do you deal with this type of situation? let's take it to Batman. There's a scene, again, I don't watch movies, right? But back in the days, unfortunately, it's what I've consumed that stayed with me. Alfred, when Bruce Wayne is talking to Alfred, and he's talking to him about his time in the military, and there was a particular, you guys don't talk about that. He's talking about how did you catch the guy?
I don't watch movies, bro.
Neither do I. But back in the day, so this particular guy's in the forest, and they're trying to catch him, and they just can't. The special forces that they're trying to catch him. Alfred's like, brother, we're just trying to catch the guy. This that. So Bruce goes to him. He goes, so did you catch him in the end? He goes, no, we didn't catch him. He goes, how'd you deal with it? He goes, I burnt down the forest. Sometimes, bro, you just go, guerrilla warfare, yeah? That how does a small ragtag army put pressure on a massive elite world military? Because they come and attack you, and then they disappear in moments of relaxation and peace. So, for example, when an army's sleeping, eating, moving from one place to another, that's when they come, and they disappear. So I'm saying that's what some women do. Like a man's just trying to lock in, he's working, and suddenly, it's like the moment you want to lock in, she comes, it's just a little nagging, all this kalam. So sometimes you just got to burn down the forest.
But
I'm not saying burn.
wait. I feel like some language can be quite dangerous in terms of, number one, this like lock-in element. Again, I feel like it goes back to doing the foundations. If your communication isn't clear with your spouse, if you're already in a turbulent period and now you're like, oh, I'm going to spend less time with you to lock in here. Like, you actually haven't created the foundations to enable yourself to lock in.
You're talking about healthy relationship.
Okay. Number one, like, use the term turbulent women. I don't really think women are inherently turbulent.
No, I'm not
right?
talking about all women. I'm saying
I don't think there's turbulent women. I think it's a reflection of the man.
No.
As dark as that
Agreed.
is.
Yeah, the
I
man
think in most cases...
Yeah, her father. Yeah, man, her father.
Then you married a turbulent woman, so there's an ownership on your decision making that you married
100%.
someone
So
inherently
now?
super turbulent.
So
like, this is again goes back to you, accountability on you.
Oh, so
Nothing
I've
to
done
do-
it now. He's in
Huh?
that situation.
The
He's done it.
forest.
He's done it.
It's
So
not done
what
for
are
the
you saying? You
forest.
just divorce her?
So no, Sheikh, if I
Do you get it? So
if
there has to be a solution.
I'm coming to you with the real thing. I've seen it. I've seen this.
I think I know exactly Sheikh, what
Yeah.
you're talking
And then
about.
when you have a youth with that, for example, now,
Yeah.
like there was one brother,
I feel like these are just byproducts of bad decisions. Like, this
Yeah.
is just the consequence.
It would have been,
and
yeah.
so that's all you got to deal with.
but now, like,
And now you got to weigh your pros
there's a
and
brother I know
cons.
that can't get away because he just got use.
So I think there is a period, Sheikh, and I'll go. It happens with your parents
Yeah.
when you start becoming practicing.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with me when I started becoming practicing. I'm not like I'm the stranger in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I come from like a quote unquote normal Desi family,
Mhm.
right? Pray Salah, but of course, like do everything else, right? So I'm not watching news. I'm not, because there's female. I'm not going to any of the cousins' weddings,
Mhm.
marriages. So there's a face, and they're so mad at me, so mad, like as if like I have like completely like destroyed the
everything.
reputation of the family, right? So you're gonna go through that phase, right? And at that time, you have to just stand your ground, and it shall pass. It shall pass, right? So with parents, there is no option of changing the parents, right? Shah? So stay patient. You have to do your stuff no matter what. But 9 out of 10 times, I've not seen anyone who don't change. Like parents actually, like they start respecting the son.
They do, yeah.
Like,
Eventually, yeah.
wow, I'm learning from the son.
Yeah, yeah.
Then my father started using his example. You see, but like now he became ultra proud.
Yeah.
You know, the other way around. He became the other extreme now. You know.
The arc is mad.
Yes. Now, when it comes to spouse as well, there will be a phase. Like going to what Brother Murrad was saying. Let's say I was a clown my whole entire life. Now, all of a sudden, I listen to this podcast. Now, I'm a lock-in. So to her, I'm still a clown. She doesn't know that I'm like, now have decided for real, I'm going to lock in my life.
It's just here. It's like,
So there's
whatever.
going to be a phase where she will be like, what's happening here? You know? But you have to, I think, stand your ground past that phase. And most of the time, it shall be okay. But if it's not okay, then you have to do what you have to do. And we have talked about it in other podcasts. That's where you become a lion, not stay a lamb. You know? So
that period of overcorrection.
yes,
That's what you're talking
yes,
about.
exactly.
I
bro.
do agree to
exactly.
some degree with what Murrad is saying. I do believe that regardless of the type of woman that you've married, if you were to live your life in a particular way long term, not just bursts, 'cause it's easy to have a burst of locking in, right? But there's an element of locking in that should always be there throughout your life. Like as a man, you should have a level of discipline, a level of there should just be a certain level below which you don't drop. But unfortunately, in this day and age, many of us, we do drop below that level. And so then it's hard to then come to the table with expectations.
Exactly.
When you haven't really been the man across the board. And it could have been from an emotional perspective. It could have been from a time perspective. Financial perspective. It could have been any one of these given points where you didn't really meet the bar.
Occasion,
So now it's like you expect your spouse to meet the bar just because you're now meeting the bar. But bro, you weren't meeting the bar yesterday.
Do the hard yards.
And tomorrow you're not going to be meeting the bar either. So because you're in this phase right now of locking in, you expect her to also be locking in. But it don't work like that.
No, I'm not talking about telling her to lock in. I'm telling her.
Okay, telling her to lock out so that you can lock in.
You ain't got all the Imran. You never have absolutely all the context of a marriage.
That's very true.
You don't know someone's full.
Very true as well.
Like someone could say, "Oh, my missus is this or extremely turbulent," but really they're at yard watching Netflix, looking like a joke man.
But I'm not talking to those guys.
Bro, like you're telling me a guy is on point in all avenues, in his fitness, in his work,
fitness, physical health.
His communication's good. He's consistent with what he does. 9 times out of 10, if he does this for a consistently long period of time, you know how dark it is for a woman to just be evil to you when you're fulfilling all of this. This is very rare.
You'll be very surprised.
I
think it is.
I think you would. You're also describing an idealistic situation. Most men, as in a guy who's.
Okay. No, we agree. Most men aren't doing that.
Having a good woman is a byproduct.
Let's rewind a couple of steps here. Let me tell you one of the reasons I bring this up. So I spoke with a brother.
Go on.
Who told me, who's very and by the way, he's a very good brother. He's got he's I wouldn't say he's a nice guy, but he's a good guy, and he's got like an internal teddy bear type of heart. Do you get me? But he's very, very focused, driven. Like he knows what he wants to do in life. He married a sister, and her family started having major issues because this girl started practicing now, and her family was a hardcore secular family from a particular country that is a Muslim country, but they're like secular. So he divorced her because he was like, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I don't have time for this.
Time for what?
So her family is causing issue in the marriage?
In the marriage, yeah. As in, it's causing issue with her, and it was affecting his relationship. I didn't sign up for this.
That sounds
Bro, hear me. The guy knows what he wants to achieve in life, with the last permission. He's got something big he's working towards. And this, he can see now. I actually believe, and please, the audience who's watching, take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. Listen to what Bakr and Murrad have to say in Sam before you take what I'm saying. Even maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. But I believe in this particular person, not all men, but this particular brother, because I know him.
Filling in for Siri this episode, huh?
Yeah, there was that element of wisdom in, because he's a guy who looks to the future. Then the brother got married again. Yeah. And he got married to the woman who, within, very short time of getting married, straight away realized, like, there's serious, like, mental health issues here.
With him or with her?
With another woman, right?
With the woman. Oh, with the woman.
Yeah. And he locked it off again.
But you know if there's like...
Hear me.
He's a repeat offender.
That's what I'm saying.
No, because... because in the end, he's married. He's happy, finally, right?
But how do we know that's because of the woman, not because he matured and learned lessons that he should have known from the first time, but he started implementing on his third time? Do you understand?
Not as in also, the lesson was to not marry a woman that's got mental health issues. Like, in the sense, he didn't know that she had mental health issues at the time. But my point was, I'm sorry, hear me, just let me land. My point is that when there's a man who wants to build something great, he can see that this woman is going to cause me unnecessary stress. Extraordinary men need extraordinary women. And he was like, no, I didn't sign up for this. And he said, bye.
So...
Okay. I can't help but be admired by that, man.
Okay.
If you're like any decent Muslim out there, I know you wish you understood the Arabic language so that you could connect with the Quran. Do you know how long it took me to learn the Arabic language? It took me like 7-8 years. And you know why I'm kind of upset about that? It's because I've recently come across Ijada Institute, which has students speaking Arabic in 6 months. In 6 months. So I was mind blown. So I decided to connect with the founder and the teacher, Sheikh Abdurrahman, and I asked him, how did you do it? And he built a system, Allahum Barik, that focuses specifically on teaching those that are non-Arab speakers living in the 21st century, i.e. our context, how to study Arabic. Most of the programs that you're going to see out there in the books were not even designed for Westerners or non-Arab speakers. And if they were designed back in the 90s and the early 2000s. This is a program that's mind-blowing. I actually listened to one of the calls that they have with the students. They log on and they talk to each other and they talk about their day. And I was like, wow, these brothers and sisters, of course, there's no free mixing. They are talking in fluent Arabic in 6 months. Now, of course, you have to put the hard work and you have to do the work, but you can just focus, just doing a small amount every single week. And within 6 to 12 months, inshallah ta'ala, you're going to be proficient. And then there's going to be that moment where you're going to be in salah, you're going to be reciting Quran, and it's going to come and you're not expecting, I promise, where you're going to relate to an ayah and it's going to touch your heart in a way, it's going to bring tears to your eyes. And that's going to be the beginning of your relationship with the speech of Allah. So if you want an Arabic Studies Institute that, inshallah ta'ala, works as far as I'm concerned, and within 6 to 12 months you want to be speaking Arabic and then, inshallah, understanding the speech of Allah, then apply to join Ijada Institute at the link below, inshallah ta'ala.
So we live in a day and age.
Really? I'm sorry.
We live in a day and age where extraordinary women are extremely rare, as are extraordinary men.
Yeah.
Right? So the majority, and the reality is, as you mentioned earlier, that it's the father's job to raise an extraordinary wife. And unfortunately, the majority of fathers aren't. So the majority of people aren't going to marry someone that's extraordinary because their father didn't step up to the role and he didn't do a good job. So now you're in a marriage. And look, you mentioned, for example, the girl's family is causing issues. As a man, like, that's your domain. That's where you come in. That's where you put barriers around. This is my family. I've got that's for you to not allow that to come in. It's like for a man who's getting married to a second wife, if drama reaches his second wife because of issues that are happening with his first wife and her family and his family and this and that, he's not doing his job properly. Okay. His job is to be the shield. His job is to be the protector.
So he locks the door, right?
He does whatever he has to do.
Right, so he does, right? And then the woman opens the door and lets it in.
Then he needs to put things in place with her. That's also part of the job as a husband.
Bro, but you're not here to father her.
And I agree you're not, but you're here to husband her. And that's part of it.
Sure. Husband all day, every day.
Yeah.
But not father.
So you think, wait. If I don't know if I'm out of touch. I could be out of touch. Yeah. I think if you're the guy and your missus is whipped over you, yeah, if she's not whipped over you, there's things you got to work on. Whether that is being more conscientious, understanding her love languages, understanding what appeals to her. Like, if you're really fulfilling all her needs, yeah, and she's whipped over you, all of these factors around, of course it could be, I think it's all just a spectrum of how much she likes you and cares about you and is whipped over. Once she's whipped over you, it could be a family saying, whatever, this is my husband. She'll be fighting your corner.
What would you do when the woman is not well? She's unhealthy.
Then that's literally a decision-making thing where you didn't do the vetting process properly. You didn't ask the right questions. You didn't vet appropriately.
Sure, possibly. But
that's like
what I'm trying
you're trying to say you bought something.
Yeah.
This is
but
mad.
also exceptionally rare, though, isn't it?
Say that again?
That's a rare situation, though. Or are you saying that not majority, but there are a lot of just mentally ill Muslim women out there getting married to men?
That's mentally ill Muslim men. I don't want to dwell on this point too much because I don't want to make it like a relationship episode. But what I'm trying to get at here, would have had beef. Is that no? Definitely, I'm not saying that this is the status quo. I think it's a lot more common than maybe others would think. What I'm trying to get at here for my brothers that are listening is that, okay, maybe there's ways to fix it, but maybe you don't have the tools and the resources and you can spend that time trying to fix it.
There's always a way.
Sure, there's a way. But what's the greater good here? What's the lesser of two evils? To say salam to her so you can actually build something and then find a woman whose father actually did raise her, but you don't have to go through that? Because I'm sure there's a way. There's a way that I could become, that I could outwork Elon Musk and build the next Tesla. There's a way. Of course there's a way. But is that really a fight I want to fight?
That's a decision. Again, every man has to make his own decisions.
I always want to mention as a disclaimer, if you got youths in the game, man's never telling you to get divorced. Even if you should, that's not coming from me. This advice is tailored towards single men, bruv. Right? Who have been...
Single men? Or you mean?
Sorry. Fatherless men.
Sorry. Childless.
Yeah, childless. Guys who practice cautious interruption. Right? Those who who
Okay, we get the
yeah,
point.
yeah,
We
yeah.
get the point, bro.
Anyway, let's move on.
But look, so what we're essentially saying is that your wife can be an issue to you being able to lock in.
Yeah.
Just like your, as we've mentioned, family can be, your work can be, your friends can be. There's all, you just have to figure out mechanisms to put in place to allow yourself to still be able to lock in. And also, what you mentioned as well about you might not have set up the foundation in terms of finance and stuff like that, but someone in a situation where in order for them to be able to get to a point where they're actually financially able to provide for the family, they actually have to lock in.
Yeah.
Them not being able to lock in the first place is what's stopping them from being able to reach that financial level where they can't do that. So then you just need someone that understands. Marrying a woman who understands where you are at the moment and, vision and, you got potential and this and that. Even though, I've been the wali of a sister before in the past and I advise her against potential. I said, look, if someone's coming with potential, I've got this idea and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I said, don't give that zero weight in your decision-making process. Don't look at that because potential is like nothing. I mean, you don't know. Find someone that's actually done what you've done. That's actually done something and is doing something rather than someone that just says, yeah, in a year's time, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. You don't know where they're going to be, where they're not going to be. So, yeah, I think it just comes down to the fact that as a man, you just have to be able to deal with these issues and there's always a way to reach the end goal, the objective. You just have to figure that out. And I feel like most people actually struggle with a step before that, which is just having the mental fortitude in the first place to be able to thug it out to that finish line in the first place. I feel that's the bigger, deeper issue.
So coming back to this issue of saying no, I'm actually thinking about it, yeah. And I feel like the more I'm thinking about it, I'm just putting it through stuff that we're talking about right here, sleep, marriage, this, that, food, whatnot. And I'm just applying it to scenarios in my head. The more and more I keep thinking, I feel like that might even just be the foundation of solving this problem, which is the ability to say no. The question then comes is, what are the things
You say no to?
that prevent a man from saying no?
Desires?
I think it comes to mostly
Like, why can't men say no?
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Shiny object syndrome.
Shiny object syndrome.
It's
Because
desires.
for me,
That's
Sheikh,
what
like the opportunities now come.
Yeah.
Like seriously, these are like billion-dollar ideas.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to pursue my second billion while I did not make my first billion.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So I'm not going to sacrifice my first billion to make my second billion and I'm ending up with no billions.
Yeah.
Right? So people usually, these $1 million ideas come, but you have not made your first million.
How close are you to a billion?
I don't know.
Accurate.
I don't know.
Humor us.
It's a long,
Halfway?
long way
I
out.
feel like
Long
we're
way out.
3/4.
Long way out.
Yeah?
Long way out. Inshallah. So basically, yeah, we can't, right? So I think the problem is these ideas come 19 ways to make $1 million in 2 weeks, right? And he's in the middle of making $1 million right now. He's in pursuit. He watches that videos, then he goes into implementing 7 other ideas from there. So this is the issue, Sheikh, the noise, right? So I think Brother Murrad was alluding to it. The environment and the conditioning has to be there. Literally, remember you told me the watch history, you turned it off on YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So these are the mechanisms.
Yeah.
Because if your watch history is not turned off on YouTube, the recommendation videos are coming. And YouTube knows how to suck you in, suck you in. And then you in your mind, you're saying, no, this is an important news to me. Or this is an important video to me. That is also important. That is also important. Everybody has something to sell. So whatever you're going to watch, they're trying to get you to their funnel. They're trying to sell you something.
Do you think
Right.
that's hustle culture and 7 streams of income? And
I don't even know what hustle culture is, man. I honestly don't know.
I didn't understand the question.
like, do you think hustle culture and having multiple streams of income and things like that play a factor to
All
that
I know
shiny
is
object syndrome?
it's a distraction. All I know it's a
Because
distraction.
there's so many good ideas that gets
you're
thrown
right.
at you.
What I believe that Sam means when he says that is instead of, because I do believe you should have multiple streams of income once you reach a certain level in that. So once you've done one income stream, you reach a certain level. Within that same vertical, you can open up another stream. Like for example, in real estate brokerage, you might be doing buying and selling properties.
Property
Then you go
management,
to property management. Then you go to construction. Then you go to, but only, and this is what Sam mentions as well. Once you reach the point where your clients for this vertical are begging you, please, I'm so happy with your services in buying and selling. I want you to now manage the properties that I bought through you. I don't trust anyone else.
You remember
Should
the
be a
exact
natural-
example?
It should be a natural progression.
Don't say that to him because I'm trying to get him to jump into something for us right now.
Who? Sam? Oh, Murrad. Okay.
You're
But-
the exception.
Once you've reached the level,
You can do it, inshallah.
You can hype me up.
once you reach the level and you want to go to the next one, no problem. But what he's saying is, don't from the beginning now. You know, you spent 2 days on one idea. Like, you know what? I'm also going to do this now as well. I'm going to buy this course. I'm going to buy this course. I'm going to buy this course.
And it happens very subtly. I'll tell you why.
You were just going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, Sheikh, go ahead. Please, Fadda. Please,
You started.
Oh, it's fine. I'll go there.
No, I was saying, because in my line of work, news is important. I need to know what's happening around the world, right? So my initial news was Wall Street Journal. And Wall Street Journal, you can select the topics you're interested in.
And it will just tell you that.
And they will give you a very summarized email with just 10 pointers from those topics, right? Even then, I'm seeing some pointers. My curious mind tells me to like dig a little bit further, and then I get distracted. So there's this AI, Perplexity. I was telling you, Chef, Perplexity. I just put my prompts, exactly what news I want. And daily at 12 p.m., that's when I know like I'm done with my first day, like the first 6 hours, I have done my deep work and everything. I don't do it first thing in the morning. I don't want to watch the news first thing in the morning. That's when I know I'm relaxing, doing wudu for dhuhr time. So that's when it gives me very bullet points. Not even like less than headlines, basically, Sheikh. Like bullet points. Not even like a headline that would want you to read more and then explore more. Not just bullet point. This happened. Fact. Bomb, 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 bomb. And exactly what I want to see. GCC, US, and breaking business and economic news that will affect my real estate today. These are the prompts I put in, so good, man. And I have no room for anything else now. This is my news.
Another thing that I feel like is important when it comes to locking in is you have to clarify to yourself and also to those around you, but mainly to yourself, because every time you lock in, it's going to be a little bit different. Depending on why you're locking in, how long you're locking in for, what the level of priority is for this thing that you're working on. What are the rules of engagement for this lock-in that I'm about to go into?
Yeah.
What are the things that I'm willing to sacrifice? What are the non-negotiables? What are the things that, have to happen in order to let this happen? Because at the end of the day, when you are locking in, you're essentially saying that you are gonna make sacrifices in other areas of your life. So you need to know what is the minimum that I have to do with, for example, the gym. What's the minimum that I have to do, for example, with my family that are non-negotiables? Because you can't, when you say lock in, you can't just say,
No.
to your wife and children, forget you guys, I'm moving away for the next 6 months.
40 days.
I'm going to be away and in another country, in an office, and I'm going to
I do that. When I want to lock in, I take my family to my in-laws because I need to, like, as in for me, it's like, yo.
And let me ask you a question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, please ask.
What consequences do you feel like that brings after a locking period? You come back. You feel like there's any consequences? Or
No, actually, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Really?
Yeah, always. That's the energy that we come back with. Always good, and it's sprints.
You don't feel like it's had any adverse effects on marriage being away for long periods of time?
Look, at the first half, the first 2/3 of my marriage, I was just absent. That was obviously very bad. But now strategic absences is when there's like
Tactical absence.
Yeah. And by the way, 90 days is good. They don't usually, no, they've been away for 90 days. But
No, Sheikh,
yeah,
I think
for me, I just need that complete, like.
Yeah, I actually also do that.
Yeah.
But 90-day sprint, then within that sprint, you have bursts.
You have bursts,
like bursts, like this one
Like
week,
right now
I need to take leaps forward to the
Because a
next
week.
level.
100%.
Yeah,
No,
so it's not like 90
that's
days.
my
next-
point.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
you need to figure out what are the rules of engagement.
Yeah, like 30, 60 days. 60 days for me is usually like at least twice a year I need 60 days.
As in, are you saying in a 90-day sprint,
least.
you say to the family there's 0? Or you mean
Like
there's a
100,
burst
120 days.
within the 90?
For me, there's
For a
a
week.
burst within the 90 days.
For like a week?
Yes.
Okay.
Week to 10 days max for me.
Yeah, so it's something a bit different.
No,
It's a similar concept, but different timing.
Yeah.
But my point is that that's fine.
yeah.
Everyone knows everyone's
Yeah.
got their own method of locking in.
Yeah.
But it's important before,
know.
because if you don't clarify to yourself, you're just going to be changing. Then, like, you're going to, on the day 3, you're doing something different to day 1 because, you realize, wait, this has come up. You're always trying to fit things in. Whereas I think the best way to describe it is just live by design. Lock in by design.
So I want to, on that note, bring it to phones.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've actually been doing Live by Design with Fawaz, and he helped me operationalize and optimize multiple areas of my life, alhamdulillah. And as I've mentioned multiple times, and I'll say it again, it's been one of the most beneficial things I've done for my deen, for my health, for my marriage, for my business. Maybe one of the most beneficial things I've done in my entire life, but definitely of 2025. But after he'd done everything that he'd done with me, there was a massive bottleneck that I didn't even realize how much of a big bottleneck. After all the bottlenecks had been removed, everything had been removed. It was this. And by the way, I'm pretty I'm pretty good when it comes to my phone compared to most people. Like when you check most people's like phone usage, bro. I'm alhamdulillah. Like I've got a lot of
Should we check it out? Should we check our screen time?
Yeah, we can if you want to.
Huh?
But
Mine's going to be ways.
It was still bugging me. Right?
Oh, no.
So you know what he did to me? He broke it down to me. He gave my phone an entire detox. Number one, made me remove my screen. It's like anything that you just do not need that is just stimulates
Removed your screen.
as in the display, the wallpaper on my screen.
Okay.
Like it's empty.
Okay.
Right? His principle, his philosophy is that anything that you do not need on your phone is designed to give you some type of dopamine trigger.
Yep.
Just cut it off. So like my screen's gone. Right? Then on top of that, this is my homepage. Like I have no apps. There's no apps that I can see. And the only thing that I have access to is the things that I need to see the moment my phone opens. Time, salah time, and just the first few things on my calendar. Like what's relevant to me right now. That's the phone. I have to search for what I want to use. Do you get me?
Yeah.
All my Slack, everything is deep inside there. And then the one thing that if I can suggest to my brothers, if there's one thing I'm giving you today, bro, this app called Opal.
Yes.
Opal.
Yes.
You have Opal?
Yes.
This is
This is very good.
life-changing, bro.
Explain it. What does it do?
Bro, okay, so you know how you can lock your apps? There's a way around it.
Are you giving it a free shout out right now? It's free promo.
I mean,
Should email them and say,
we'll
yo,
email
No,
them.
big time, man. You should email them.
Yeah, you're right. We
Affiliate.
should email them. You're right. Get a little affiliate link. Anyway, point being is that, bro, this app will shut your phone down to the point where, bro, there's when I did it at the beginning, I put like my bank account on it as well and my cab thing, and I almost got stranded one time because it locks your whole thing off. Do you get me? So this has been very profound, man. Like, at night,
What do you do in a situation of emergency?
so what you do is you exclude those emergency apps.
Or if you
WhatsApp
forgot
is
to do that
another
on that day and
Huh?
emergency pops up?
Yes,
You're stranded.
there's a way, but I'm not going to tell people.
Oh, but so there is a way. No, there's always a way. Yeah, but it's about making that way as hard as possible.
It's making the way.
There's always a way for
There's always,
everything.
of course, there's always a way, but it's about making it as hard as possible.
Like even when you make an account,
Say
and
it to
you
a 10K run.
no debit card and this and that, whatnot.
I'm going to
There's
delete
always
that
a way.
because I don't want people to think there's a way. But the way is just to delete the app. That's the only way out.
Oh, you just delete that
You just delete the app. That's the only way.
and then just reinstall it after.
You reinstall it after, but it's long. But anyway, with this, bro, you can, because my issue was, wherever I'm to, bro, I want to pray Isha and just go to bed.
Yeah.
But bro, that's the time you're winding down. That's the time you're calling. Because I'll call my mum after Isha. But next thing you know, so I was forced then to call her earlier now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this Opal thing is phenomenal. And what you can do is then in the day when there's deep work hours, lock things off. Lock things off. Now the paid version, it's like £20 a month. You can do £60 for a whole year. The paid version locks off everything. The free version doesn't lock everything off, but just get the paid version. Rely on the best investments you make in your life you want to lock in.
Another thing that I find really helps when you're trying to lock in or when you are locking in, not trying, we're doing, as the brother mentioned earlier, is learning, growing while you're doing your work. At the same time, have a dedicated amount of time where you're just reading, where you're just growing, where you're learning. Because these skills that you're learning, you'll be able to implement them, whether it's through with the mental element, learning about toughness and how to deal with things, resilience, how to get through it, or just actual skills you're learning, sales, marketing, whatever else it might be. But if you're having that time, me personally anyway, I found that really helps with everything else that comes after that, doing the actual work. If you've got a dedicated amount of time where you're actually doing it, and I guess to some degree, it would also come under routine, having a set routine as well. But I think having routine is a more broader one. But the learning element during that period of time, I feel like it just stimulates your mind. It just makes your mind more. It's like a muscle. Your mind's like a muscle, right? In order for you to use it for long periods of time, there has to be stretched, has to be put through its paces.
Okay, so I have some bad news. I am pre-diabetic. I just got my bloods done recently because a good friend of mine, Umar, aka the Muslim PT, he said, Imran, get your bloods done, I'll check them for you. Found out that I'm pre-diabetic, my estrogen is high, unfortunately. Just to clarify, my testosterone is not low, but there's something going on inside of me which makes my estrogen high, and a bunch of other things. I'm not a scientist, but all of these things have been causing me brain fog, fatigue. I've been sleeping for like 9 hours a day. I've not been optimal. I keep crashing in the middle of the day. I eat food, I crash. So I had to quickly just get my life changed. I've tried to get in shape for 15 years. I needed this wake up call, but the wake up call wasn't enough. I've got this brother Umar, Muslim PT, by my side. He's helping me, he's training me, he's helping me with my diet program. And I just want to share with you guys, I've lost 2.5 kg in like the last 10 days. Alhamdulillah, and my brain is so clear. I'm on a calorie deficit right now, and I'm on such an extreme calorie deficit, but he's given me a meal plan that's allowing me to have like the healthy foods that are going to keep me going. And he's giving me supplements to take that are helping to kill my cravings and making my calorie deficit easy. I'll be honest with you, the first 5 days were hard, super hard. But suddenly on the 6th day, I had gone through most of the day on less than 500 calories, I'm not exaggerating, and my energy was 10. Do I look energetic right now? I am on no more. Today, I am no more than 1,100 calories. And that's how I'm going to end my day, right? But the foods are good, healthy, protein focused, and supplements. So look, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, no doubt there's going to be some underlying issues, but you can reverse it, inshallah ta'ala, with Allah's permission, His tawfiq. And if you're in your 20s, then you don't want to wait till you get to this point where you have this wake up call, because I'll be honest with you, a year from now, I could actually have been diabetic. And we hear about parents being diabetic and friends, but you don't know what it's about. Being diabetic is actually such it's such a suffering, man. May Allah cure those who are sick. Amin. So if you want to get your life in shape, I'm telling you, this guy, Umar, is the guy, man, with Allah's permission. He's not going to just work with you to help you get buff. I don't know, you don't really care about the body. If you did, you would have done it. But he's going to help you get, energetic, focus. You're going to have energy throughout the day, and you're going to be healthy, inshallah ta'ala. So if you've been neglecting your health up until now, and you feel like there could be some issues, maybe you're experiencing issues now, inshallah, it's not too late. And it's a guy who actually cares. That's what I love about the guy. He actually cares and goes out of his way to help myself and get in shape and make sure I'm progressing. So you can apply for his coaching program at the link below. Inshallah, I really believe you won't regret it. And our life is important, man. To think that I could become diabetic and won't be able to be there for my kid. My dad, of course, only Allah knows when death's written, but you don't want to destroy yourself with your own hands. Like, what a travesty, right? So go to the link below, check out his program, and inshallah, hopefully, you're going to join me as one of the Muslim PTs, guys. So go.
One thing, there's one irony of life is the more you shrink your options, the more these options will open up later in your life. So, for example, the more we shrink our options, let's say we're not going to the nice parties, let's say halal parties, but we're saying no to those. Later in life, because we're shrinking those options now, we're saying no to those, nicer of those parties will open up.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're like, man, this is good. So
the parties are so good, it's like, this must be haram, but it's halal.
It's halal. We have done that. So the more you shrink your options now, these same options will open up, but in a much bigger, better way in life later on.
Absolutely, bro.
And that is very true.
Yes, I'm just, while you're saying that, I'm just thinking, actually, the things that I have said no to 5, 6, 7 years ago, those are opening up now. I'm still saying no. You don't have to continue to say no. It's just, I love saying no. I get a kick out of saying no.
With us.
No has just so much power in it. Yeah. Just no.
And I think so sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
A quick thing. I think the to-do list is overrated. I think it should be not to-do list. For most people now. Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
That's interesting. I was thinking about personality types and like people that are more susceptible for like FOMO and things like that, and actively doing things. Like, for example, that app that you mentioned, some people be like, I don't need that. Right? Some people could be sitting down watching and be like, I don't need that.
You're right.
They probably do. They probably do. The fact that they think that they don't need it, it's probably an indicator that they probably do if they don't see that the value behind it. But I think like being really honest with yourself, like me, I suffered from major FOMO. Growing up, bro, it could be anything. It's just if the man them are out, like I'm trying to be there. And it even makes sense. Like, I just wanted to be there. Even if it's something small, I extremely suffered from FOMO. And then I had to like self-reflect and be like, why am I like this? Because I'm the opposite now. Like now I'm just like, tired, bro. Like, I hope it gets cancelled. You get it? Now I'm just like, I got cancelled. Oh, boys. Oh, man. Really wanted to go, but now it got cancelled.
Well, I regret signing up to my own events. You know, when we're doing an event, I'm like, I have to do it.
That's so funny.
But I think actually taking time and knowing how susceptible you are to these things, whether that is phone, because these things are borderline addictions, right?
Yeah.
Your screen time on your phone,
Absolutely.
always feeling like you need to be around others. Are you filling a void? Are you getting that dopamine kick where you're around your boys talking about these business ideas, but no one's actually doing anything? A week later, your boys mention the idea. If you ask him, you know, where it is on company house, or you're being offensive now, you're drawing him out, right? You know, in terms of implementing these practices to build that confidence, to build that trust in yourself, but you got to self-reflect a bit. I realized, okay, this is bad. I got to actually spend some time practicing saying no, because there could be a people pleaser element into it. There could be a fear of confrontation. You know, you don't want to disappoint others, or you don't want to, you know, cause conflict. All of these things can go in your mind when you're thinking about saying no.
Yep.
That could be one of the hardest things to say.
So then what is that transformation from a guy? Because I know Abbas was just like that, what you just described, yeah? Abbas, bro, like his FOMO was so, if it wasn't even FOMO, like anything I wanted the guy to do, if I said to him, if you're real, do it. We're going out today. If you're real, you'll come.
You'll pull up.
To the point where one time I said to him, I beg you do some push-ups. And he goes to me, no. I said, if you're real. Yeah? And he just started doing,
I'm real.
bro. Like, but subhanAllah, now the guy, he lives down the road from me. Literally, I don't see the guy. I don't see the guy.
Have you said to him, if you're real, come see me?
I've tried this thing. He looked at me after it was after he disappeared for a year. Came back and said, no, it don't work anymore. Every now and again I try it. Every now and then, it's gone. But what is it that gets a man to make that transformation? Because I'll be honest, I suffered from this.
From which experience?
Huh?
I would assume it's just, I mean,
No. As in,
My turning point.
yeah, what's the thing that you go from this to that?
My turning point was a mentality of, I became completely content with the consequences of saying no. Like, every fear that I had about it, I lose all my friends. I don't care. Like, I've got to a point in my life that I love you, brothers, obviously. I got time for you lot.
Of course,
but if you lot were like, I don't like this guy anymore, my life carries on. Like, I still got everything in order. I still got, like, I don't seek that validation anymore. I'm being absolutely content with, like, the worst outcome of what can happen from saying no, and being completely content with it is hard. But that's when I was like, everything shifted for me. I was like, okay, cool. Imagine I stop seeing my friends. I become more distant from them because I'm locking in this period of time, and they don't understand that I've just lost friends that aren't really good for me. Right? It's fine. And even people often seek comfort. I stopped seeking comfort. I was like, even if I don't find like-minded people, I'm good on my own. Like, everything that could possibly go wrong by saying no, I became completely content with it and comfy. And then that's when I was just like, you know, when Khabib says, who cares? You know, today smash, you know, he genuinely don't care. Like, McGregor was back and forth with him saying, hey, I'm going to smash off, I'm going to do it. He's like, I don't care. I'm content with the outcome. I'm going to see you in the ring on Saturday. We'll see what happens, right? Being absolutely content and not caring was the most powerful thing that transformed my life. Honestly, that little thing of who cares, that was it, bro.
But what makes you not care? Because you cared, like, look, you transformed today.
Yeah.
Yesterday you cared, today you don't.
Okay.
What brings that? Because I feel like that's the hardest thing for people to jump over.
This might sound a bit dark, but I think I was disgusted with the person I was. Like, absolutely disgusted. And everyone thought, oh, he's doing great. He's got this great career in tech. He's doing this. Bro, I'm just chilling with these man for 4 hours, just talking waffle. None of us are doing anything with our life. Like, that drive back home, you're alone. You know, like, you could try hide the pain of, like, avoiding self-reflection by filling the void with other people. But when you go yard, you're on your bed, you're just thinking about yourself. When you look in the mirror, it's you. Like, I was absolutely disgusted with the person that I was, and people might think that's strange, you know, you're exceeding in a lot of areas. And that was the turning point to me, because I was like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care about the consequences. I need to go home being a version I'm proud of. And if that involves saying no to everyone and upholding myself to certain standards, it's hard. no, because I need to lock in with this. And it was the hardest thing for me. Like, this might sound like saying no is such a two-letter word.
Yeah,
All you
yeah.
have to do is say no. That was one of the hardest things for me. And I was like, these are people I see often. These are the people I spend a lot of time with. These are people I have jokes with. No.
I really resonate with what you're saying, man, because what it took me, bro, I think over a decade, bro. Over a decade of actively trying to just like get rid of these distractions that I'm bringing on myself because I keep saying yes. And it was always because I just didn't want to disappoint people. But what I realized was that, bro, every time I'm just trying to not disappoint you by saying yes, you end up being so disappointed in me anyway.
It's worse.
Because I wasn't able to
Yeah,
fulfill the
'cause I
thing
wasn't
in the
able to
first
do
place. So it was so much more
And not
painful.
only that, in that process, I've put myself and my family in a worse situation. And my loved ones are suffering now. Do you get me? Like, for example, someone works in the company and he's not performing. And I just don't want to badman him. So I'm not going to sack him. But look at how he's violating, forget my company, all my other employees, bro. Everyone is being affected by this guy. And I just don't want to hurt him. Do you know what I'm saying? So it took just a decade of pain, bro. And just L's that I'm like, so I was trying to be nice. But I'm the one that's the bad guy? Bro, I'm just going to say no.
You know
Burn it.
what maturity is, Sheikh?
Mhm.
Maturity is realizing in life that once in a lifetime opportunities come many times in life.
That's very powerful. Say that one more time.
Maturity is realizing once in a lifetime opportunities will come many times in life. And just be, who cares?
That's something
Yes.
just over the last few months I've recently just realized. Because there's been enough once in a lifetime opportunities that came my way that I even sucked Bakr into acts a life opportunity. And then there was always a better one.
Yeah.
There was always a better one.
Do you think that's
I'm
a
quite
scarcity
skeptical.
mindset?
I'm
Say
quite
again?
skeptical as it is anyway. So for me, when I see these things, I very rarely believe them.
So let's
Once in a
just
lifetime.
bring it down, yeah. So there's dopamine, which is a thing that stops you from
I
saying
think that's the problem.
right, coming to your phone.
Major issue for most people.
Dopamine is one. There's scarcity, aka FOMO, right? There's
I think you can separate them. Because like FOMO, that fear of missing out, but also a scarcity mindset of, I don't know if I'm going to have this again in the future.
but that would be FOMO, right? It connects.
Yeah, it can
Fearing
fall
of
into-
missing out on it.
They're related at least.
Yeah,
And
true.
then there's the concept of just not wanting to upset people. Like guilt. I would call it guilt. Guilt, dopamine, and what? FOMO / scarcity.
I think a lack of clarity as well.
A lack of
In
clarity.
terms
is
of
another one.
why you're locking in, what you're locking in for, because it's important to revisit your vision, your goals, and also have a clear cut when is this going to end?
Do you
How
think
long am I looking in for?
insecurity?
Yes, I think a lot of people fear to be called or known as a selfish person. And I think most selfless people are selfish people in people's definition. The most selfless people are actually, if you ask people, they would think they're selfish, but they're the most selfless people. Because they know how to unplug so that I can plug in a way later on.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
This is
It's for all of you guys.
This is very powerful. Like I was reading this book called The Art of the Gathering, and the reason I'm reading it is because obviously we do events and this
Yes.
that, and I was just trying to find a way to make our weekly paddle even more exciting and more interesting.
Oh, wow.
I remember one thing that the author she mentioned was be a generous host, and what she meant by that is that be generous to the people that attend. And she goes, in order to be a generous host to people that attend, you have to be not so generous to the guys that shouldn't be here. She goes, like, what happens at events here is that people just let people in.
Yeah. Because they think they're being nice.
They
and
think
kind.
they're being nice,
Yeah.
right? Oh, there's an event. Sure, bring your friend. Oh, bring
Plus
your,
one, plus two.
Yeah,
Oh.
bring your son. Bring your, neighbor.
Yeah.
But
Brings the quality down.
brings the quality because
Yeah.
what she mentions that in every gathering, people have come for a purpose. When we're playing paddle, let's be honest, we're not there for paddle. Do you love paddle? As in, it's fun.
But I'm there to win.
Sure, but no, but
He was
okay,
there for competition.
for competition, right? For competition,
Some people come for
but you can
brotherhood,
get
some
you can
come
get
from
that from
networking.
other than paddle. Let's just say we swap paddle with something else. I'm saying paddle's not the reason we come together.
Yep.
Do you get me?
Could have been table tennis.
Which is
could
why,
have
like
been
last
football.
week, Bakr came to me and he was like, I really didn't enjoy it because some people came that weren't that good. So then we had to go back and think, okay, cool. So then we have to fix that problem. Either we
Yeah.
make a separate court, which sounds a bit rude, but no.
Nah,
Sorry, brothers, you play on that court, or you don't come.
until you get good.
Until you get but now that sounds like I'm not being generous, but actually I'm being generous to the guys that I made this for.
Yeah.
Do you get me? The guys who have come to network. Also, likewise, brothers want to meet a certain caliber of people. They want to come see 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. So then that means anyone who doesn't meet that should you don't come to any court, not even the trainee court. Like, you don't even go there. Do you get me? So it's like that is generosity, but just echoing your point.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what I kind of took away from what you were saying, Sam Amin, is sometimes you have to
Call
be
me Sam
selfish.
Amin.
Huh?
Call me Sam Amin.
That's how you know it's the brand. That's a brand. Yeah,
That's
you know
straight
that.
branded. That's good branding.
So funny. Bro.
Oh, what I was gonna say is sometimes you got to be selfish to be selfless. Is
Yeah.
what I kind of took away.
Yes,
where
absolutely.
you have to be selfish to actually have resources to be selfless. And I think sometimes a lot of selfless people that think they're incredibly generous or selfless can often be a bit of insecurity. And I remembered sort of reflecting back on, all right, cool, am I actually doing this out of genuine generosity and being selfless? Or actually, am I getting a kick out of it? You know, am I actually getting, you know, is this
Dopamine.
something that is making me stem from like a people-pleasing element where I want people to like me, that's why I'm doing
Just a nice
this?
guy.
Or is it,
But-
is it a Mr. Nice Guy thing? Is it that sort of thing? So I started like reflecting on that, and that's why saying no was actually one of the harder things for me, because I had to self-reflect and be like, okay, I actually help a lot of people in this area, that area. And I was incredibly concerned with ever, you know, charging anyone for things and things like that. Then I realized, you know what? As soon as I became a bit more selfish, I actually ended up accumulating resources that allowed me to be so much more effective when I was selfless. So when I'm helping others, I'm able to establish workshops and, you know, rent out venues. I'm able to, you know, conduct things at a much higher scale and actually benefit you more. But I had to spend that period of being selfish or building these resources in order to actually be selfless later on.
You know, so deep, bro. We just spent an hour plus teaching people how to say no.
And we could go on, Sheikh.
And we could go on. And if I'm honest, it's something I still haven't perfected myself. This should just be an indication how important this is and how deep it goes. You said earlier, you said it's just a 2-letter word, bro. But now I understand Charlie Munger's statement.
Yes. And Sheikh, for example, I'm just thinking, I'm supposed to be in the States right now because there's a very close family member getting married.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah, but I'm not, you know? And it's,
I'd say no.
for me, it wasn't tough, but my wife had to explain. You know, she did the tough part, but for me, it's like, I can't. I really can't, because I have a mission, right? I can make the same dua, I can send the same gift without me having to. And what people would, you know, crumble under pressure, people would request you, like the way they invite you, because they love you. They're like, please just make it. You can just come for 3 days. But no.
You know, I feel so motivated right now. I just want to say no to something, but I got nothing to say no to. I got nothing. I just want to shoot no.
Say no to the second
I'm gonna,
podcast.
Shall we just? I'm hungry, you know. I'm going to say no. But they're outside and I'm going to feel bad.
but sometimes
No, I want to.
exercise it. And I wanted to quickly say a story that I was talking to a friend of mine. He said something where he was like, you know what, the problem with me, the problem why I struggle so much, I can't build anything for myself, is even if I had my last £10 and you wanted it, I'd give it to you. Right? This might be obvious to you where you're like, that's ridiculous, right? But this selfless thing that some people actually hold on a super high pedestal, if you're not actually resourceful, I'm sorry, and it's really dark to say, but you don't even have the capacity to be selfless. You don't even qualify to be selfless. Like, if your mother now got ill, she needed private healthcare, that £10 that you have isn't stretching. You know, if you are actually selfish for a period of time where you're like, no to this, oh, sorry, bro, I can't really, I'm not in a position to be borrowing money right now. I'm not in a position to do this, to do that. And you've now acquired resources by being selfish, then you can
but let me
actually
ask you
have
a question.
serious impact.
I don't even think
Let me
it's
ask you a question, though.
appropriate to call that selfish.
How do you reconcile that with the hadith that charity doesn't decrease your wealth?
By the ayah in Surah Al-Isra, when Allah says, don't do israf, but also don't go the opposite and just give everything away.
So how do you reconcile that with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu when he came and he gave away all of his wealth? And he was
Beautiful.
asked, what did you leave behind for
Beautiful,
your family?
beautiful,
He said,
beautiful,
Allah and His Messenger.
beautiful. He did that twice in his life.
Yeah.
He gave everything away twice. You know why? Because he knew he had cash flow. He knew how to get
I
it
was
back.
just going to say, he was
knew
a
how to get
true
it
and
back.
true
Do you get
investor
me?
entrepreneur.
Likewise, though, I don't believe a guy is going to waste last £10. He's expecting that to be his last £10 till he dies. He's going to get paid again.
Not till he died. No,
He's gonna get-
no. It's not like that. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was a businessman, and he understood the process. Like, all right, I'm going to give this away, but I guess Abdurrahman ibn Auf went to the marketplace. What was it with butter? With butter, and then
Barley and
I mean, our audience is entrepreneurs. We're talking to people that are in the business of making money, having
course.
ups, having downs.
Yeah, of course. But I look. I'll give you an example. Yeah, let me keep it real with you.
So I would do that.
No, let me keep it real.
Personally, I would.
Okay,
I don't think it's a
let me
negative
show you how
thing.
deep it goes.
I think
Let me show you
I
how
don't
deep
think
it
it's a
goes.
negative thing.
No,
at all.
Let me show
if
you
you're
how
at
deep it goes.
zero,
Let me.
if you're at zero, you got £10. A boy says, "Yo, I'm in this tough position as well.
Let
I
me
need
give you an
£10."
example.
I've given my rent money to a brother before 10
I've
days
got an
before my rent
example.
was due.
You do that if you're married, you got kids.
I was
and
married,
all
I
of
had
this.
kids, and I gave it.
Can
And
I
it
give-
worked. And my Qadrullah, my landlord
let
ended
Imran
up
explain.
depositing my rent check late. Qadrullah ma shafa'al. By that time, I ended up making more money back, alhamdulillah. And I've done that many times in my life.
Okay,
and I
okay.
believe the reason why my risk is increasing is because of that. Because remember, the ayah in the Quran, none of you truly believe until you give from that which you love. What is that which you love? Surplus money is not that which you love. Surplus money is that which is easy to give away. Anyone can give when you've got millions. That's easy to give. But what about the money that for you is so dear and so precious? This is the money that I'm going to be using for things that are very dear and close to me. That's when it really matters.
I'll be honest with you. I disagree with you
I
because
disagree with you.
you know why? Because that money is not your money. That's money
Yeah.
for your
family, your wife.
No.
That's their
Now,
house.
if it's
That's
my
their
money,
right.
no
Because
worries.
you know-
No worries.
no.
I will
No,
I will
because
give
where
my
do you
own
draw
money.
that line then? Where do you draw that line?
Basic rights, minimum rights. If a man gives his daughter to you, I'm not talking about you here, just generally as a point. If a man gives his daughter to you, it's like, bro, I'm giving her to you to take care of her.
Yeah, and
Don't put her in a difficult situation, broski.
Yeah, imagine you had the
No,
daughter
there's
and
an
the man
element.
says,
'Cause
"Yo,
it's how-
our rent got
it's-
given away
it's
because my
how-
boy
No,
needed
it's,
it."
look,
You're not
again,
allowed
you
to.
again, because I spoke to Yassine about this, Ustad Yassine Munir, and he mentioned that, look, at the end of the day, it comes down to a person's level of what a person can deal with and what a person's family is able to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Different people can deal with different
That's
things.
one answer the scholars give.
Certain
And also
people-
another one is that Abu Bakr
certain
radiallahu anhu
people-
knew how to get it back.
Yeah, of course.
He
And
knew
certain
if I get it
people-
back, I'm going to get it
Certain
again.
people can deal with more. Some people have a higher threshold of dealing with certain difficulties and hardships, and they know, as Imran mentioned, that they can get it back later on, and they have that full trust and yaqeen that they're able to do that in that situation. For them, it's fine. In fact, for them, it might even be mustahab, or even I've even read, because I actually did some research on this, it might actually even be wajib for them to give if someone else is in a greater need
Yep.
than them.
Yep,
If
yep,
they know that they're able to
Yes.
handle that stress,
Yep.
they're able to deal with that issue and that stress, and that there is a way out of it. Of course, if you're going to go to jail, you're going to end up dying. That's a different story. I'm talking about that. Majority of us people, bro, at the end of the day, even if you miss your rent, bro, what, your landlord's not going to do much, bro. He's going to be a little bit late. And I agree with you. You should never put yourself in a situation where you are going to be late. Alhamdulillah, like I said, in my situation, I actually, even though, I mean, technically it was, but qadrullah ma shafa'al, the way it worked out, it wasn't.
Sheikh, so you're saying if you can handle it, right?
If you can handle
we're
it,
Not, we're not talking about you.
and you also know,
We're talking
We're
about
talking
family.
objectively.
Do you get me?
yeah, I know, and
Understand.
and your family can handle it as well.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, they won't even know. Like my family, like, for example,
You know why I'm a bit concerned about your messaging, yeah?
Go
Again,
on.
I keep saying I'm not talking about you.
Mm.
There is people that I know, and I've been in that situation myself, where we've done dumb things like that.
When you say dumb thing, can you can you be specific?
Right. So
There's a person that
saying
was in desperate need.
I'm saying I have in the past made this mistake where I've given my family's rights away, and it wasn't wise to do so.
And it wasn't used right, probably by the other person.
No. They might have used it right ahead. That's up to you, bro. Whether you use it right or not, that's you. Do you get me? But I'm saying I've put myself in situations where I have stunted and slowed down like, for example,
How long ago, roughly?
this is a few years ago.
So would you say your financial situation now is better than it was back then?
Akhi,
Is your financial situation now better than it was back then? It's just human me. Just human.
yes, it is. Yeah.
How do you know that? Is it because of that?
Extrapolate that.
Look,
What?
you know why I'm
can't
That's the
extrapolate
ayah.
that.
Charity does not decrease your wealth.
No, but 1 second, Akhi.
In giving charity, your wealth will increase.
Abu Bakr,
I'm a firm believer
No,
that
but Abu Bakr,
Yeah,
doesn't-
but if
I'm
one
in the
second,
position
if
I
you
am
grab
today
someone-
financially
one second,
because of those
one
But
decisions
you
that I
one
spoke
took.
about the
one
stat
second.
about how many
I'm saying
people got
there's an
divorced
ayah.
as well because
There's-
of finances.
yeah,
Like, there's so many
I know.
nuances.
There's an ayah in Surah Al-Isra where Allah says, "Don't overspend."
Yeah.
Right? Like, sorry, don't become so stingy that your hand is to your neck, and also don't give everything away. It's a clear hadith. One second, hear me.
Go on.
I'm saying Sa'd ibn Waqqas wanted to give all his money away. He wanted to give all his money away for charity.
Inheritance.
Right, inheritance. And the Prophet said, don't do that. He said,
inheritance.
1/3. But what did he say after that? He said, it's better that you leave your family wealthy, right? Aghniya.
Yeah, after your death.
No, the scholars use this hadith for multiple situations.
But then Abu Bakr radiallahu anh gave everything.
I'm talking to you
Umar
about an
gave half.
exceptional situation, exceptional case. You're talking about a man whose iman and his family's iman was at the highest level. And if you can get to that stage,
You can aspire
fantastic.
to that.
Of course you can, and if you can, you should. But I'm talking to you about the waqi. What I'm saying, there are brothers that will give money away because they think they're doing a good deed and their family is suffering. As a matter of fact, it exists. I'm saying if there's an exception here or there, Jameel, be the exception. Allahumma barik. Be
Define
it.
suffering.
Say that again?
Define suffering.
The fact that, okay, if your wife comes to you and says, no, this is
No,
my
what?
right. Fear Allah.
What? With what, for example?
She says, you bruv, don't give our rent away. Fear Allah.
The nappies,
Okay, that's different
the
then.
nappies staying
Okay,
on
that's
longer
what I'm
than
saying.
it
That's
needs
If your wife says that to you,
I'm saying that's happening. A man's wife is saying to ittaqillah, bro. Ittaqillah, bro. I didn't sign up for this. He shouldn't be doing that.
I'm doing makeshift
Let's say your
nappies
wife's
with cloth.
Okay, calm. Let's say your wife's on the same page. She
Yeah,
understands.
yeah, real strong.
Okay, calm.
Do you want to do it?
Calm. So it just comes down to, at the end of the day,
Of course.
the level of iman that you have and how much you can tolerate. You and your family.
Yeah, look, I don't. Yes, okay, sure. Also, maybe even wisdom. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Of course, Allah Azza wa Jalla provides. Only Allah Azza wa Jalla knows that when things are going to come through. But think about it: a man who keeps giving his money away, yes, Allah Azza wa Jalla is consistently going to provide for him. Allah's never going to leave a man down. Even the sinners, even the kuffar, Allah Azza wa Jalla provides for them. But I'm saying the mental cognitive overload that you take, right? The mental cognitive overload that you take. I've got to make scraps happen. You constantly remain in this place where you can't just go and exceed, such that where one day you'll be able to just give away $1 million check and say, here you go, sadaqah, build something.
But again, the reason why I disagree with your messaging there is because a lot of people will now try and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to build this thing until I get to that stage. Actually, you're going to be chasing that stage, and that stage will always be moving. That stage is always going to get higher and higher and higher and always get further and further and further away. And you might die tomorrow.
You know what, brother? 1 second. There's zakat, which is wajib. Every man pay your zakat. There's no two ways.
Okay.
Right? Pay your zakat. Number one. Number two, remember, if a Muslim is in need, and there is no one else to help him, and you have the ability to help him, wajib to help him. It's obligatory for you to help him.
Which when you say there's no one else to help him, define that.
As in, we can see there's the brother stuck. Right? Like let's help him. Do you get me? There's you kind of know. I can't define that to you, and I can't give you a box definition. Everyone should fear Allah. There's a guy who's in need. And we've got money today. Right? It's wajib to help him. Wajib, obligatory to help him. There's a man who was lashed inside of his grave, and his grave lit up in fire. Why? Because he prayed a salah without wudu, and there was a believer who was in help, and he just walked past him and ignored him. Right? So 100%. But what we're talking about is now, when people know that you've got money, then everyone's just going to ask you, and then you're going to give everything away, and then you never grow. There was an example I wanted to give to you, because maybe we're going to disagree on this example.
Okay.
But I think maybe the example I'm about to give you, maybe we might agree on.
Okay.
So there was a particular guy, right, who I met on the streets, who asked for some help, right? So I helped him out. Now, the guy got my number, and he's just been on to me asking for more help. Do you understand? Now,
What was that day in the hospital?
so what happens is that I will start now thinking, wait, is this a scam? Because I'm never going to encourage a scam. If you're genuine, I'm gonna back you. Like I'm gonna try and help you. But no, I'm not gonna let you scam, man. Do you get me? Because that's encouraging the evil.
It's haram to beg.
Right, without going into details of the situation. So now what happens? The guy's been on to me. So I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. Just something feels off about this. Do you get me? But he's on to me so much. And he's giving me so much proof. And he's telling me my situation's peak, bro. Non-stop, bro. Every day, multiple times a day for 14 days. Got to a point, I said, you know what? Let me help the guy. Then me and you, we were together yesterday? We were together yesterday. And someone comes and he's asking for money. And then Sam was like, sorry, it's illegal. I'd love to help you, but it's illegal. When you said that to me, bro, that sent shivers down. I said, bro, what if this is a setup? Do you get me? I was about to help the guy. And
He's talking about just a beggar in Barsha.
Yeah,
I'm making a point.
Yeah.
I'm saying, imagine that I did that now, but that could get me in trouble. Imagine that I didn't realize that could get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Now, that's an extreme situation where, you could end up breaking the law. Because obviously they're trying to stop beggars, isn't it? The reason why you're not allowed to do it makes sense to me.
And I agree with that, by the way.
I know, but I'm saying
Even on Umrah, I tell brothers, if someone comes to you and spins you a story about I need nappies and this and that, don't give them any cash.
100%.
If you are going to give charity, give it to the workers that I've seen.
Which is why I said you'll agree on this surah. Which is why I'm saying you'll agree on this surah, right?
Yeah.
So the old me would have just from day, here you go, not consider because I'm just trying to help, right? But I'm saying sometimes there are consequences to helping, and wallahi, brothers, be generous. Allah is Al-Kareem, He's the most generous, and Allah loves for you to be generous and be merciful. None of you, this is me saying don't be.
Give from that which you love.
Give from that which you love,
100%.
right? Give from that which you love. Allah says in the Quran, you will never attain Iman until you give from that which you love. But just remember that, all of the other contexts that we've discussed here.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I'm talking in the situation that there's people that you know that need help.
100.
And if someone comes to you and they ask because out of the desperation, that's different. I don't say that begging. If a brother comes to you and says, look, I'm in a situation, I'm in debt or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't say that begging. I'm talking about begging just random
There's
guy on the road.
situations that I've had where there's people that are asking for help.
Yeah.
And you'll keep helping, a person will keep helping them. And then that feeds into, and he's in a desperate situation, but he's always in a desperate situation. And now what ends up happening is he's in a position where it becomes like the easy way, such that, asking for money is not as painful for actually getting out of the mess.
No, so look, there are exceptions.
My point, that's what I'm saying.
There was a brother, for example, a couple of years ago, he was going around asking a lot of brothers in our circle for peas. I think ended up turning out that he was, stuck in a bit of a mad situation or whatever.
I don't even know what it was, but
you don't know what it was, but then he came back and started asking for more peas.
Yeah,
I said to him no, because I knew that this is not a good situation. Every situation is different.
Yeah,
but as a general rule of thumb, I think people should have the mindset of charity does not decrease your wealth.
100% doesn't. I don't differ with you there at all.
But if
you don't have to give every single thing away.
Yeah, like this is where it comes into a messaging thing.
I just want to.
Okay, one second.
Depends on the person. Depends on the
Prophet
situation.
give every single thing away?
Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Prophet hardly had anything for a lot of periods of his time.
That's not
for a lot. I didn't say always. There were times when he had ghanima and he had this and
moments we didn't have.
There were moments,
but the Prophet had a lot.
And there was a lot of the time when he would give. I don't know about everything.
A lot. I'm saying, but he gave a lot of ways.
When there's nothing cooked in his household.
After Hadi Nabi Sallallahu But he had food though. But he had some food. After Hadi
likewise,
the best guy is the guy to the Prophet.
I think you guys agree. I don't
believe my family would be homeless or they wouldn't have any food to eat or anything like that. Perfect. Like in me giving away.
I'm not talking
charity.
about you.
No, I know.
I'm saying
people watching though. I feel like you're coming up with mad theoreticals.
No, I'm not. Actually, everything I'm saying is practical.
So you believe that for a person that's going to give away money, he's going to starve his family for?
It depends on his circumstance.
It depends. I think that's unrealistic.
I think people have understood what we're trying to say.
Look.
I don't think you've understood
it's a messaging thing, yeah. It's a messaging thing. I think you guys can we have some objectivity to it a little bit, yeah?
Please.
If you know
this point, inshallah,
that giving X amount is gonna leave you homeless, right? You're in a situation where it is going, the byproduct of this is something very detrimental, don't do that. Yeah? Now, if you know someone's in a greater need and this is money that is what you love, it might mean your rent's really tight. It might mean you struggle in a lot of areas, but you'll survive and you think you could burden
that. By the way, sorry, for context, I realised that brother that I'm talking about with the rent situation, he was getting evicted.
Okay, yeah.
And he was going to be homeless. So in that situation, it was like, bro, at the end of the day, I know, bro, even if my check was to go through and it was to bounce, I could speak to my landlord, speak to the agent, get something. Yeah. Say, look, it's not going to be that deep. Yeah. But I do feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, in this day and age, the threshold for them to give is too high. In their own mind, they made these, I need this runaway, I need this leeway, I need this rainy day, I need this. And that was always going to increase because your lifestyle creep, it's always going to be increasing. So
I'm not sure if I agree with you.
A lot of people have too high of a threshold.
I personally haven't seen that.
I think practical solution, brothers, is have a percentage from your top line, not from your net profit, because net profit is always subjective. From your top line, have a percentage, even if it's 0.1%. On top of zakat, let's say my top line, I brought in $500,000. So if I do 1%, I'm going to give this year $5,000 in charity. And slowly increase it.
Yeah.
But for me, that's how I started.
That's something I was thinking about. Just have a pot for charity. Just because if that's going to be, my thing is, bro, just plan for it. Just plan for it.
Yeah, I'm saying there are times, and I agree with that. What I was talking about isn't a daily occurrence. It's a once in a blue moon situation that happens, but I do feel like there should be an element of exceptional circumstances require exceptional action.
Agreed. I think being pragmatic. So like that sort of scenario, I might consider bringing that person into my yard and housing him. You know, like I might be like, okay, cool. If I give this money and I get evicted and now I'm in this jeopardy, you know what? I'm happy to... charity doesn't necessarily have to be directly money oriented. Like I'm actually very pro on doing a lot of projects and setting systems in place.
One thing Brother Murrad said at words very subtly, we should do a full podcast on it, Sheikh, later on. He said being resourceful. And he just said it in passing, but I think that's a very heavy word. Being resourceful. I think we should do a full podcast on what does it mean to be resourceful.
Absolutely.
Making do with little.
Yeah,
doing more with little.
It's unbelievable.
Alright, barakallahu feek, man. I think we've discussed a lot, and I like these discussions where we just go into something and just give people...
It's living room talk.
Yeah. Because it's these topics, you can just say to a person, yo, so you know. You can say to a guy, yo, be generous.
What does it mean?
But what does it mean?
How do I do it?
Do you get me?
And it's relative,
Yeah. No, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Barakallahu feekum. Guys, let me know how you find Murrad, the newest edition. I want to see more of him. Inshallah, he's gonna be doing some big AI stuff, inshallah. Gonna see some AI on the screen, maybe. Can we do something AI for the outro? Great little.
Are we even real? That's the question.
Is this
a real video or is this AI video?
It's a one prompt. Hey, GPT-5.
Exactly.
5.0 is out, man.
Comment below. What do you think? Was this too good to be true? Was it too good to be true? Sound like there was some AI.
The prompt engineer was good. It even made people think like, you even created controversy, conflict. A few prompts in there were good to go. Made the host disagree. Perfect. Perfect episode.
Guys, with that said, God love you and leave you, man. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.